Hey paper crafters, thank you so much for joining me today. I love that you took the time to pop by my channel, check out the video that I've got going, and hopefully stay and poke around a little bit. I'm really excited to be able to offer some videos now and then and share my love of paper crafting. So I hope you find something that you enjoy and come back to see me another time. Bye-bye. Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for tuning in today. This is going to be my third in a series of layouts that I'm creating featuring this Parklane paper stack called C'est La Vie. I've already done a video showing how I divided this into project sets, and I've done 2 videos so far featuring layouts with those sets that I made from this stack. Today's layout is going to feature this palette. So this was one of the sets that I made. At the time, it didn't include that background paper. So we've got this kind of dark pink. This is dual-sided, so it's got the coral and the dark pink. This paper is from the stack. Okay, so you've got that one sheet that's solid. And then there's this. And you'll notice there is a little bit of black on there, okay, on these 2. And then this is like a linen piece, and I'm just using a half sheet of that. These were the cards that I pulled out to go with this set. So I may or may not feature any of those cards. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But this palette to me just screams spring. I don't know about where you're at, but the sun has been out. It has been beautiful, so I'm excited to embrace that a little bit. The background cardstock that I want to use for this is Close to My Heart cardstock. It's called Smoothie. Anytime you guys need to find Close to My Heart supplies, there's always a link in my description box. A good friend of mine is a consultant, and she would be happy to help you with anything that you need. So let me get these background sheets laid out. I'll get some templates figured out, and we'll get a layout started. All right, so I got a layout put together that I think really embraces this spring feeling that I'm trying to create with this color palette today. So for starters, I pulled out this Paisley Place border. I believe this is, 1A and 1B. I went ahead and used it upside down, which seems a little bit weird, but I wanted to use the reverse side of it because I really wanted this nice chunk over here, and then I wanted that shorter border on this side so that I could see more of this Banners 2 template. So all I did was flip it over. I've still got it where it'll line up really nicely on the seam, okay? So that's Paisley Place 1A and 1B. The little accent up here is one of our newer expressions templates. This is expression 3. So I love the shapes of these. I don't often use the lines for the journaling, but I like having some more options for ways to cut the sentiment cards apart. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. And I may just bring this down enough that it kind of bumps into the photo. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see. The Banners 2 template coming down from the top. This banner is so nice for 2 4x4s. It makes a really great anchor for that and allows you to kind of have a splash of color in the background, which I really like. Here I've got the Lacy Trims 1 template, and I will probably do something like this where I maybe have this photo mat tucked under the edge of the Lacy Trims, and then this photo mat over it, something like that, but so you can see that shape. This will be nice because it is done in such a way that I can cut straight through that Lacy Trims to get the circle out, and I can hide the cut somewhere. That's not going to be a big deal. Obviously I'm going to have to cut it in half anyway to fit on this 2-page layout kind of right there in the center. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 4x6s. So those will be nice and easy to get out of one sheet of background of solid paper for my photo mats, along with these two 4x4s. And then I've pulled in this Garden Frills flower. This was from last month's club kit. I just really like this flower, and I like the way it layers. So I've got Garden Frills 2 and Garden Frills 4. I'm not really picturing just one of these. I'll probably make a few and just kind of figure out, you know, where I want to pop them around the layout. So I will kind of work on that as I get cutting. So I've got some paper choices to make, and I will pop back on with you and show you how this is coming together. All right, so first things first, I ended up using that really bold paper for that border at the top. I just thought this was gorgeous. All of these different lovely pinks and oranges in here. So let's get this one right up at the top. And I just think that's so beautiful on this smoothie cardstock background. So loving that. And then I cut the banner out of this one that has the white background and all the different color splotches. So it really echoes the design on here, but it's not the same. And I like that it's a little bit different. Okay. The Lacy Trims, I went ahead and cut from the same paper that I used up here. Okay, so really beautiful. Let me tuck that in. I did have to go ahead and cut that in half just so it'll fit correctly on here. So something like that. Thinking that the photo mat will probably layer over. This one maybe over under. We'll just kind of see how that goes as we create. Let me go ahead and grab the photo mats. The photo mats I made out of the pink side of this double-sided cardstock that was in the kit. Okay. So this one I think, depending on the photo of course, but I think this might look kind of neat, just tucked both ways, kind of tucked under that border, but then also tucked underneath the Lacy Trims. Those kind of decisions often get made once I've got photos in my hand and I, you know, can make sure I'm not going to lose a really important piece of a photo. So, alrighty. So I did do all of the photo mats out of that, and I had some of that paper left. I did end up cutting from the piece that was left. Let's see, it wasn't a lot. It was, I want to say it was about a 4-inch square, but I ended up cutting some flower centers with a 3/4 inch punch, and I'll use those in just a minute to decorate some of those flowers. Okay. As far as the tag goes, I ended up choosing this one that says "Do what makes you happy," and I just love this kind of coming down from that top, bumping into that photo. You know, it can always be raised up if that's not your thing, but I do like stuff to kind of be anchored and not always floating on the page. So I wanted to do some accents, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and go with white. There's so much color on here that I thought, well, let's do these flowers white and kind of see how that goes. So I made 5 of them because I just want those little touches all over the place. And look at how they stand out with all of this color. Isn't that crazy that these little white flowers really make a big impact? Okay. I cut some centers for those. So this was that smaller Garden Frills template. And I cut these out of the linen paper. I didn't want them to be exactly like the other papers that I had brought in already, but they just have this really soft kind of watercolor feel being cut out of that paper, and I love that. So there's those. And for their centers, like I said, I used the back side of what was left from the paper I cut the photo mats, and I thought I'd just use the coral side just to bring that coral in a little bit. You can see that the pieces that I'm bringing in, I did go ahead and ink, and I did ink all of them today with a vintage photo. Okay, so that's the distress ink I used. It's from Holtz. Okay. I wanted a little bit more on here. It's funny, I love this, love the colors, love the brightness of it, but I decided I wanted to carry this paper off just a little bit more. So I went ahead and cut another one of those Lacy Trims, but I cut it into fourths. And so I am going to do one little piece here, just as a little accent in the corner. I'm going to do that same thing over here. Okay, so think about that with that Lacy Trims. You can definitely piece that, have it popping out, you know, behind something, doing a little bit of layering from an edge or a corner. So that was just my idea for today. And as a last touch, I decided it needed a little bit of glitter. So what I ended up doing was grabbing a sheet of just white glitter paper that I have, and I cut it into some 1/2-inch strips, and I'm just going to use these right up here at the top. Carry that white just a little bit further into this layout. Okay. And give just a little tiny bit of bling. It's not a lot. This is not a big punch in the face kind of glitter, but it's just a sweet little touch. If you wanted to carry that feeling any further, you could definitely go over these flower centers, and I may do that. I have a product that I really like to use. It's a Spectrum Noir product. So it's this Spectrum Noir Sparkle, and when you shake this up, see right now it's been sitting on my shelf, so it's kind of solid on the bottom. When you shake this up, there's some beads in there that help it shake, and you can brush this on and it just creates a shimmer effect. So I will do a couple of the centers. I'll let them dry, and then I'll show you what that looks like with some close-up photos at the end, okay? So hopefully this gave you some ideas about how you could lay this out. Again, this is that C'est La Vie paper stack, such beautiful colors, and I've had so much fun creating with it and really different layouts so far. So hopefully you are inspired to get some paper out and get creating. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button and the little bell for the notifications, and I look forward to seeing you another time. Take care. Bye-bye.